Hello, I'm Andrea Taylor.
And I'm Catherine Tetford. Welcome to Stratazine, your source for authentic, curated content for digital and social media professionals.
On today's show, we'll take a look at psychology that is used in social media and how it affects behavior.
In our tips and tools segment, we are going to look over our likes and comments and likes on Instagram.
First, to our question of the day, how is psychology used in social media to both enhance user experience and manipulate behavior?
Well, let's give the latest statistics in the battle of micro-blogging users.
I started asking local BYUI students for their opinions about the topic. Hi, my name's Andrea Taylor, and I'm here with...
Mallory Davis.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mallory. So, have you ever caught yourself scrolling on social media longer than you meant to, and why do you think it happens?
All the time. I think especially with like TikTok, for instance, it's just so short. It's like it does something to your brain, it's gratifying to your brain, so you just keep going and going and going. I especially have trouble with that more than anything else.
No, definitely me too. Do you think social media is designed to make you feel good or to keep you hooked, or both?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's how they make their money and stuff. So if you weren't hooked on it, then they wouldn't make anything. So.
And then, do you think social media knows you better than your friends or family? Why or why not?
No, I don't think so, because I don't usually post anything about myself. I guess it knows like what I do on the internet. So in that sense, I would say yeah, but it doesn't know like what I particularly do in my day-to-day life, I would say, because I don't usually post anything and stuff like that.
I'm Grace.
Have you ever caught yourself scrolling on social media longer than you meant to, and why do you think it happens?
Yes, definitely. I think it's just, for a lot of different reasons, like just entertainment or maybe just, I need a break. I'm stressed. I'm tired, so I just want to rewind.
Completely understandable. Do you think social media is designed to make you feel good or to keep you hooked, or both?
I think both. I think that they're very strategic in the way that they hook people into, staying on social media and wanting to get on it, when they're not and stuff.
And then, do you think social media knows you better than your friends or family? Why or why not?
I would say no, just because I don't have like a personal relationship with my social media. But I do think that, it pays attention to what because if I have a conversation with my husband or my friends or I'm watching a reel that is about a topic and I keep seeing this topic. So, I think that it definitely shows like what I'm interested in and stuff at that time.
I'm Samantha.
Have you ever caught yourself scrolling on social media longer than you meant to, and why do you think it happens?
Yes, for sure. And I don't know. I think it happens because it just sucks you in and it feels more fun than whatever responsibilities I have to do. It can be a little bit addicting because maybe I had a boring one, but then I say, oh, maybe the next one will be funnier or it will be more interesting or whatever. Maybe I'll like the next one better. So I feel like I have to keep going.
And do you think social media is designed to make you feel good or to keep you hooked, or both?
I think it's designed to keep you hooked, and I think maybe part of that is feeling good. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to make you happier, but it's supposed to keep you sucked in, and that makes you feel good, I guess.
And then, do you think social media knows you better than your friends or family? Why or why not?
No, I don't think it knows me better. I just feel like human connections know me a lot better than a social media feed, even the algorithm. I sometimes try and trick the algorithm, or I'll like do things or search things up that kind of throw it off. But I definitely don't think it knows me better.
Social media is one of the most addictive things in this world, and can keep us scrolling for hours on end. But what keeps social media so addictive to us?
Cole, who has been researching the world of social media and the psychology behind it.
Today we're diving into the world of social media and the psychology behind it. First, let's talk about what psychology is. Psychology is the scientific study of the mind and behavior, according to the American Psychological Association. So, how does that relate to social media? And how does social media influence you? One, it can leave people with a feeling of FOMO, or a fear of missing out. Number two, it can cause comparison and other forms of social involvement. And number three, it increases impulsivity and desire for instant gratification. You can use this information to be more informed about your social media use and can better understand how it affects you. For additional information and to references the sources used in the videos, check out the show notes and the attributions at the end of the podcast. For Stratazine, I'm Cole.
Now that we know a bit more about how social media can be addictive, let's take a deeper dive into how social media can affect our actions.
Recently, I had the privilege to speak with Brian Howard, a professor in the digital and social media emphasis in the communications department at Brigham Young University at Idaho, to get his insights on the psychology of social media. I'm Catherine, and today I'm talking with Brother Howard, a professor at Brigham Young University, Idaho, and we are going to be talking about the psychology of social media and how this impacts our day-to-day lives. Thank you, Brother Howard, for having this conversation with me today.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So my first question I have is, how is psychology used in social media to both enhance user experience and manipulate behavior?
Well, that's a big question, right? Because it's used for both, right? So psychology's been used a long time in all kinds of advertising since the beginning of all this mass media stuff. So it's just a little bit easier to track with social media because now you can actually check clicks and all that kind of stuff, see where people are going, track their movements across different platforms. So how is psychology used? Well, more of it's getting past just demographics, men, women, where you live, that kind of thing, getting to the psychology of why you do, what are your belief systems and that kind of thing. And that's pretty easy to track once you like something on your Instagram or your Facebook or TikTok. TikTok's especially good at it. It starts to check out your patterns of what you like and dislike. So it'll feed you up stuff that you're probably interested in. And the more it does that, the more likely it is you're going to continue to watch or view or read that content. So that's good for sales. That could be a good thing because it'll feed you up stuff that you're interested in. That could also be a negative because, especially for TikTok, it's when you first start out, it feeds you up. Well, it depends on your demographic. If you're a male, like 18 to 25, you're going to get a lot of what I would call nasty bits. So see a lot of half-naked people. And then, you determine whether or not you're going to watch that or not. But initially when you get there, you've got to really train it up to what you want to watch. Otherwise, it's going to feed you stuff. And if you pause just for a few seconds on some things, it'll continue to feed those things in. So good in that it can help you feed you up stuff that you really want to see, or for advertising stuff that you want to buy. Negative, and sometimes it's going to feed you up stuff to keep you almost addicted to the content. So you're watching over and over, and that could be a negative.
And I've noticed this in my day-to-day life with just the algorithm alone, and it's very interesting to me how even just like staying on a specific post, like you were saying, it just tracks that and it continues to feed into that. One of my questions is if you're noticing, and this might be a dumb question, but if you're noticing that you're maybe being like the videos that are coming up, they're maybe not what you're wanting, is there any suggestion that you...
Sure. So definitely like the things you want to see, and then you can either, depending on what the platform is, so you don't want that, and definitely, skip on past those. So skip those ads. Maybe you can actually, physically say, I do not want that one. And so over time, the patterns will start to pick up what you like and what you dislike. You might have to dig through some stuff you don't like initially, but if you're not pausing on that, if you're not clicking on that, then it's probably going to help you out quite a bit. And each platform is slightly different on how it does that. TikTok, very aggressive that way. But, like YouTube, you can just say you don't like that one and like ones that you do, and you're going to get similar patterns. And then if you really want it. So if you really just want like church media, then look up everything and follow everything the church does. That's all you're gonna ever have, right? Yeah, so that's probably the best way to do it. It really does follow your patterns of behavior. So what you like, what you follow, what you comment on. So if you really want to control it, then comment, like, and be interactive with stuff that you really, really, really want, and it's going to give you more of that.
Has there been a trend, or since we're talking about psychology, have you noticed anything in the media or individuals that are doing on social media that maybe are alarming to you?
Oh, well, of course, there's always alarming stuff, but most of the time, there's nothing really that outlandish that I've seen that you have probably already seen before, right? So the main thing is, it just depends on what you like and what you don't like. Because certainly there's products or services or things that I'm not interested in, but they're certainly going to may end up in my feed arbitrarily. So I don't know that I can point out any one particular thing that's alarming or disturbing. Just know that for the good or bad, and if you're a marketer, then you think it's for the good. If you're an individual and you don't like the content, then you get upset about it. But definitely using a lot of psychographics, why you do the things you do, trying to get your inner psyche of what you look at, what you like. It gets beyond colors and shapes and that kind of thing, really gets into what makes you tick. And so those are the things that are trying to, marketers are trying to get to us on that. And that can be considered a negative or it can be considered a positive. It really depends on if you're getting that stuff you want and it's feeding your needs and you feel like, yeah, that's great. If you're not getting what you want, or the worst part about it probably is if you don't know how to do it, and so you're just getting stuff and you're just not intentional at all. That's probably the worst part about it. So it pays to be a little media literate.
Okay, I think that's all the questions that I have for today. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to have this conversation with me.
Hey, no problem, anytime.
Social media can be a big factor in how we feel about ourselves. Lucia has been researching this topic and tells us what she has discovered.
Hey, I'm Lucia, and this is your industry news update. Today, we're looking at how social media taps into psychology. Sometimes to help us, sometimes not so much. When you get a like, your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical triggered by chocolate or winning a game. That's why likes feel so addictive. Studies show that positive feedback online activates the brain's reward system, boosting confidence and feelings of connection. But here's the flip side. When likes are low or we feel excluded online, our brains react with stress, especially in teens. This can lead to anxiety and addiction-like behaviors. Psychologists even connect social media use to Maslow's hierarchy, showing we post to feel safe, loved, and accepted. Bottom line, social media taps into how we're wired for better and worse. Knowing how it affects our brains helps us scroll smarter. I'm Lucia. Thank you for watching.
On our tips and tools segment for this week, Kaysen is going to show us how we can look at all of our likes and comments on our posts.
Today we're going to go over a little bit about how you can see posts you've liked and who's tagged you in posts and all things that require psychological thinking when it comes to social media, because that has been the big focus today. But here's my social media page. Click on these 3 lines. It takes me to this screen over here, and if you press on your activity, you can go to likes and you can go and find all these posts that you've commented on and all these posts that you've liked. And then you can also go to tags, and here you can see who's tagged you in posts, and it just shows who has posted pictures of you if you don't see in any other places. And it's just a good way and a good reminder to find all these things. Same with comments. You can see posts that you've commented on and go through and you can see if they've liked your comment or if they've commented to your comment. But that is how you can look at your activity on Instagram. Thanks.
Back to our question of the day. How is psychology used in social media to both enhance user experience and manipulate behavior?
There are 4 effects: fear of missing out, impact of social media, scrolling, stopping, and emotion of the buyer.
That's all of this episode of Strategy. Coming up in our next episode, the topic will be the effects of social media on academic performance. Thanks for joining us today on Stratazine.
You can find links and attributions to everything from today's podcast in the credits and the show notes. Have a great day.